Okay, so these are my 5-year-old Bose QC35 headphones, and I honestly think that these are such a good deal right now in 2021. These headphones, when I first purchased them, retailed for around 349 Australian dollars, which at the time was a lot of money. But to this day, I still use these Bose QC35s almost daily. So as to the reasons why, let's get into them. When it comes to build quality, these headphones have for the most part stood the test of time. The aluminium ear cups have immediately accumulated a fair share of scuffs and scratches, but they have remained sturdy, lightweight, and overall have contributed to a premium feel to these headphones. The remaining plastic also is nothing to scoff at, from the ear cup handles to the arm adjustments. Each have stood the test of time and retained their original functionality. In addition, the top headband fabric, Alcantara, has not worn and still remains just as comfortable as day one. The only exception to all of this is, of course, the ear cups. I had to replace the original ones about 2 years ago, and I'm due to replace the replacements about now another 2 years later. Fortunately, this is a relatively easy process to do, and from personal experience, whilst the originals do have a more soft, plushy feel, my third-party replacement ear pads are still really comfortable, last about the same in terms of lifespan, 2 years, and are significantly cheaper. With the exception of the ear pads, the QC35s have overall been a really steady pair of headphones. I mean, I hardly use the hard case that came with the QC35s originally. Often I would just fold these headphones up, chuck them in my bag, and be on my merry way. So given all that, I have full confidence that these will last me for many years more. Fingers crossed. Now, I touched on a little bit about comfort and usability just before, but I wanted to really emphasize about how Bose really nailed these qualities in the QC35s. I can wear these headphones for hours on end and still not be bothered by the usual feelings of heaviness and heat that often I have experienced on previous over-ear headphones. Of course, a whole day of use may be stretching it, but I'd struggle to find another pair of headphones that I could use for just as long. Usability is also very good. I mean, I'm a huge fan of foldable Bluetooth headphones, and with the release of Bose NC700s and Apple's AirPods Pro Max, I knew that I was not going to buy them purely from a portability and space-saving stance. If I want non-foldable headphones, I would 100% go for audiophile-based equipment like my modded Alessandro MS1s. The whole point for me in terms of Bluetooth headphones is I want something that's convenient and portable, and for that to work, foldability is a must. Speaking of Bluetooth, the connection and interface of the Bose QC35s is still very good in this day and age. What I find most amazing is that these headphones, the QC35 Mark IIs and the Sony WH-1000XM4s, are really the only Bluetooth headphones available in the market which can pair to 2 devices at once. The fact that this kind of feature has not spread widely amongst other Bluetooth headphones is amazing to me because it is seriously so good. Just the amount of times when I have been watching something on my laptop or listening to music and I get a phone call, it happens all the time. And just having that flexibility of being able to pause my music simultaneously as letting me answer the phone call with the press of a button, it's so convenient. Particularly because I have a lot of devices from different manufacturers, I can't rely on Apple's solution to this problem, which is just to seamlessly switch between the connections of their own devices. So I, again, seriously think that this is the most underrated feature and everyone, including Apple, should incorporate it into their Bluetooth audio equipment. Now, touching quickly on the buttons, for one, they still work and the usability is pretty decent. Click the middle for press and play, double tap it to skip, triple tap it to go back, and of course there's volume up and volume down. Hard to believe that I even need to point this out, but do note it also has a power switch, so AirPods Pro Max, take note. This can also be used to cycle between known devices as well as pair a new one. And I should also mention the QC35s come with NFC, so if you're lazy like me, pairing to a new device is just a simple tap away. Awesome. So about charging and battery life. Unfortunately, the charging port is micro USB, not USB-C, which means when I go traveling, I still have to make sure to bring a micro USB cable. Fortunately, the battery life is very respectable, especially after 4 years of use. I use the QC35s approximately an hour a day, and I only need to charge these bad boys maybe once every week, if that. All right, I know, a lot of praise is being sung right now, but we all know that this doesn't mean anything if the QC35s don't sound good. So let's talk about sound quality. I'm going to be real with you guys. When I'm listening with my QC35s, it's often in a situation where I'm doing something else, like working on a script, studying, cooking, doing the laundry. And oftentimes when I am multitasking, I'm not fully conscious of how crisp the cymbals sound at the 39-second mark of Hotel California. I'm more singing along or just in the zone, concentrating on what I'm doing at the time. And so I think the sound quality with the Bose is perfectly fine and quite enjoyable actually. They have a good amount of bass and generally sound quite warm. This works really well for a lot of pop songs, for example. But if you daily something like classical music, rock, jazz, the kind of genres where individual layers to the record are more distinguishable, then you will notice that the QC35s will fall behind a bit. Listening to some indie Aussie rock bands like Gang of Youths and Spacey Jane, I can certainly tell that my modded Alessandros have more sparkle and forward mids than the Bose QC35s, which can sound comparatively a little bit muddy. Same goes for the impressive renditions of Mile 9 by the Royal Concertgebouw, which just doesn't have that same wide, expansive soundscape that I can get on my Alessandros. But do note that this is not out of expectations. The Alessandros are amplified, wired, open back headphones that I use for when I really want to enjoy a beautiful track. The Bose are closed backed Bluetooth headphones that I use for casual listening, and the sound quality for this type of use is great. Unless you had the Sony WH-1000XM4s or the AirPods Pro Max, you probably wouldn't notice too much of a difference. In terms of noise cancellation, it's a similar story to the sound quality. Are they the best noise cancelling Bluetooth headphones out there? Absolutely not. Is the noise cancellation enough that I can enjoy these headphones out in the open? Absolutely. The one thing that the Bose QC35s miss out on though is a pass-through or ambient sound mode. You can certainly turn off the headphones noise cancellation or reduce the intensity of the noise cancellation via the app, but there is no ambient sound mode, so just be aware of this. Okay, so let's talk about pricing. Being 3 generations old, the QC35s can be had secondhand for around 100 to 130 Australian dollars. For an extra $10, you may need to factor in buying an extra pair of earpads to replace, and brand new, you can get these QC35s for around $200. For $350, you can get the Sony WH-1000XM4s, which arguably have better noise cancellation, better sound quality, and extra features like USB-C, transparency mode, and warranty. I wouldn't be looking at the QC35 Mark IIs because the only difference there is that you get a dedicated Google Assistant button and you also have the ability to cycle between noise cancellation modes. If you're eyeing something like the Bose 700s, just know that they don't fold up and they are more heavy than the QC35s, so not great for portability. If you are not strapped for cash, the Sonys are definitely a good option. But if you're looking for a good quality set of headphones on a budget, the QC35s hit all the right spots. You get great designs, you get decent noise cancelling, comfortable audio quality, multi-device connection, and portability. Honestly, it is one of those purchases in my life where I have no regrets, and I look forward to hopefully many years more with these. Anyway, that's about it for this video, so give a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more content from myself, and do let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have the QC35s? Have they lasted as long as mine? Are you thinking about getting these headphones or upgrading to something else? Comment below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say, but until the next one, see ya.